So, hi, I am Connie Zabo-Schmucker. I'm Advocacy Director at Bicycle Garage Indy, and I am joined by Jennifer Cvar from the Momentum Indy, which she's going to talk about all the different things that are going to be going on with their big events on September 10th and 11th. So, I don't yet have a program for next month, but I will let folks know what that is, and you'll be able to find the recordings for all of our Spotlight on Bicycling on our webpage. So for those of you who are joining us, feel free to type any questions in chat as we go along, or you can unmute yourself and ask them as well. So without further ado, I'll turn this over to Jennifer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we have been really busy planning for the Momentum Indy, and I know a lot of people probably are wondering, what is Momentum Indy? It's really a rebranding of the Indy Crit and Mass Ave Crit. Our organization took over the Mass Ave Crit a couple years ago, but we really wanted to grow the weekend of cycling into more than just 2 bike races. So our board of 10 strong individuals did a lot of brainstorming, and this was part of our strategic planning process. We rebranded ourselves amidst the pandemic, which was kind of funny and ironic that, like, Momentum Indy, we had no momentum with the canceled event last year. So it was like, we'll put the brakes on that branding rollout until we get some momentum behind us. But we have it now. So we're planning for our weekend in September. And I actually have a presentation I can share if I can do a screen share here. Is that okay, Connie? Share. Okay, can you see my screen? All right, are you good? Okay. So the IU Health Momentum Indy, inspiring our community to experience the joy of bicycling and movement. Really, it's going beyond just the crit racing. Like I said, we do have pro and amateur bike races, but we also have a large community ride, events and activities for families and kids. So we want our weekend to be very welcoming and open to people of all ages, skills, abilities, backgrounds, and that everyone just comes together to be a part of it. And the commonality is the love of bicycling. Our weekend is September 10th and 11th. It kicks off with the Mass Ave Crit, and it also incorporates the Honor Major Taylor ride on Saturday, and then the Indy Crit on Saturday as well. I'll get into that in a little more detail on the following slides. But I included some information about who we are and our mission. We are a 501c3 organization. We started out, the Indy Crit started out in 2010, and for many years we operated under Freewheeling Community Bikes, and that organization, we kind of grew with one another. The bike race was growing. We were generating proceeds to help the Earn a Bike program at Freewheeling grow and become sustainable and self-supporting. In 2017, our volunteer committee for the Indy Crit spun off and formed our own board of directors with our own distinct mission, so that we could really focus on growing this festival. It was becoming like this big thing that needed more attention. So I had mentioned earlier in the call that last year our board took a lot of time to really think about what our strategic direction was. And we had a kind of a complicated, clunky mission, and then we really dialed that down into something that's very simple. So again, our mission is inspiring our community to experience the joy of bicycling and movement. And movement, it encompasses anything else that we might do that's active, whether that's community yoga classes or running, but really our focus is bicycling. And then we accomplish our mission through organizing bike races, primarily this signature weekend, Momentum Indy. We're promoting urban recreation, sport, healthy lifestyles, and then we utilize proceeds from the event to support local charities, many of whom have a focus on serving youth or health and wellness initiatives. This year, we've been very fortunate in our sponsorship with some late push. So it looks like our proceeds from the event will be even greater, and we're looking to help support a yet unnamed organization that's working with youth in underserved areas. So more to come on that. I can't disclose any details because I don't know what they are yet. But through our history, we've generated over $170,000 that's gone back into the community. A lot of those proceeds have benefited Freewheelin' and their Earn a Bike program, and to help that program grow. This year, we have a nice relationship with the IEPY Jagathon, and they raise funds for Riley Children's Health. Through the student body does fundraising, and they raise over like $600,000 for Riley. They're volunteering for us, and we're giving back a portion of proceeds to Jagathon that supports Riley. Mass Ave Cultural District, we're also supporting the area in which is hosting our event. They're also a 501c3. Freewheelin' Community Bikes, Bike Indianapolis is one of our partners on the Major Taylor ride, and they also support us through bike parking. And then the Indiana University Student Foundation that hosts Little 500, they're also supporting us through volunteers to help with various things throughout the weekend. So that's right now, that's how we're dispersing our proceeds, but hopefully as we grow and continue to get bigger, then we can spread that funding to where it's the greatest need exists. Any questions before I go on? No. So we have a really fun, exciting schedule of events for the weekend of September. Our weekend is September 10th and 11th, but it really begins with the Major Taylor mural dedication on September 9th. That project, it's been really cool to see its evolution, over the past, this summer has been the public viewing of the mural going up, but the selection process that they went through, and the fundraising that happened. I know this has been a very long project of Dan Lee and Anthony Bridgman and the Arts Council. It's been a really amazing partnership. There's been so many partners that have donated to make this mural possible. So it's really exciting that the dedication ceremony will help kick off the weekend. So that will be September 9th in the evening. And then excuse me.
I'm gonna cut in for a little bit. We actually had Anthony Bridgman and the Indianapolis Arts Council on a spotlight on bicycling. So if people want to find out a little bit more information about that, you can also look at that spotlight. So it's very exciting. I've been going down about every week or two to take pictures of the mural as it progresses. I'm really excited to see it come to fruition.
I know it was a very long process and a lot of work. Anthony is a part of our board as well, and he's really been instrumental in helping us grow over this past, I would say the past 2 years that he's been on our board. He's been very instrumental in helping us grow. So he does some amazing things. We're very fortunate to have him. So that the IU Health Momentum Indy, September 10th and 11th, it kicks off with the Mass Ave Twilight Race on Mass Ave. The Indy Crit is the next day, and there's even more festivities and things for families. And then the Honor Major Taylor Ride, that helps to kick off our day, but it's really like its own. It's kind of its own baby now. It's more than a baby. It's like an adult. And I have some more slides about that as well. And then the USA Cycling Collegiate Track Nationals, that's being hosted by Marian University at the Major Taylor Velodrome. I think there's over 100 riders from colleges and universities from across the US. It's really the best of the best coming in to race at the velodrome. So it's a wildly exciting weekend of everything bicycling that you could imagine. A little more detail about the Mass Ave Crit. So again, it's Friday, September 10th from 4:30 to 9:30 p.m. Takes place on the 400 and 500 blocks of Mass Ave and then East Street in Vermont. All of these roads obviously will be closed down for the bike racing. The day will kick off at 3 p.m. with community yoga here in Davelin Park, and that's hosted by the Hot Room. In 2019, they had yoga out on the street. That was cool, but it's like really hot, and there's a lot that goes into having to close down the streets for yoga and everything. So we were like, Davelin Park, that's great. Yes, let's do it there. And then bike party, they'll be coming in toward the end of the evening to roll through about, anywhere between 250 to 500 cyclists from bike party will be there, making the races really exciting, and then also riding on the course. So at the end of the evening, it'll be the end of the evening with bike party rolling through. We're super excited about the lineup of racers that's coming in. The Legion of LA is the top race team in the country right now. And Justin Williams, their founder, his brother, the men's squad, the women's team, they're all coming in to race. Anyone who follows criterium racing in the US knows about Justin Williams and what he is doing and to make the sport more accessible for people of color. So we're super, super excited and fortunate that he will be part of the weekend. He and his team, they're coming in for the dedication of the mural. They'll take part in the Honor Major Taylor Ride. We can watch them race their bikes. So it will make for a very, very exciting weekend. On to the IU Health Indy Crit the next day. The Indy Crit is the family-friendly day. So Mass Ave, it's when we took over the Mass Ave Crit, we wanted to put the two events on the same weekend to make it a really big national draw to get the national teams. And it I think that's showing this year, especially with the Legion of LA committing to our weekend. The Mass Ave Crit, it's like nighttime, and then you've got Indy Crit daytime. So it's kind of this opposites, and it attracts different audiences and different people. The Indy Crit has a large kids zone that will be in University Park. We have a new course this year, very probably less approachable, I would say, than past Indy Crit courses. Indy Crit's been known as like a very popular race because it's not as technical. So it will be definitely a more technical course. This section of Meridian Street near the start finish line will be especially exciting for viewing options because you'll see the racers go up and then they'll come back down. So they'll be racing all day long. The kids zone will be in University Park, where the SIBA Foundation is providing bike helmets for kids that don't have a bike helmet. And then Riley Children's Health will be out making sure that kids who do have helmets have a properly fitted helmet. A lot of times we see kids show up with, to the kids races and their helmet's wobbly or it's sitting back on their head. And we all know and appreciate how important it is to have kids with properly fitted helmets. But I think a lot of times it's just an educational thing where the parents don't know that it's not fitting correctly. So Riley is also going to do the watermelon experiment with the helmet and the watermelon and show the kids what happens when you're not wearing your helmet properly. So that'll be kind of a fun little demo for the kids. But in the kids zone, there's we have the helmets, we have a rock wall. Officer John Wall is bringing out his pump track for the kids to go through, the mountain bike course. Just lots of fun little activities for families to do that day. And then the kids races, so the kids can race their bikes. And then obviously the junior races. I forgot, I didn't even put that in there. We have free junior racing, and that's supported by SRAM. They help make it very accessible and easy for kids to get out there and try their hand at their first bike race. And then BGI is a supporter of our equal payouts for women. We have a very large purse this year for the women races. It's $11,000, and BGI is supporting our Omnium payout. Thank you. So we're really, really excited about that. I think we've done this since 2017 or 18, Connie? And it's a really, really good thing. I think it's a great way to support women who race and to make the sport more approachable for women. Let's see. Okay, the Honor Major Taylor Ride. So we are very, very excited about the Honor Major Taylor Ride. It will be the morning of the Indy Crit, 10 a.m., starting on Monument Circle. It's a ride to honor the legacy of Marshall Major Taylor and what he faced during his lifetime and how he handled really overt racism with grace and dignity and really the spirit of a true gentleman. And I think that's it's actually, I've had some people say that they kind of liken the way Justin Williams and his team with Legion of LA, they liken him to Major Taylor, like he's a modern Major Taylor, because he's faced his own share of obstacles and really handled it with grace. So I think this is a great way to honor an Indianapolis legend here in the city. Let's see, this is an important piece. We have lots of different distances for anyone. We have a 4-mile route that goes along the Indianapolis Cultural Trail, the 12-mile route that will go out to the Major Taylor Velodrome. People can stop and check out the USA Cycling Collegiate Track Nationals while they're there. They can do the medium route, which is 28 miles. And then the long route, if you've never ridden a Century and you don't want to ride 100 miles, you can ride the metric Century and tell everyone that you've ridden a Century. So we did the 62 miles for that reason. And that was Karen Smart and Damon Richards said, we got to do this. And I was like, okay, we're doing that. The mini Major Taylor Ride is the 4-mile. That's for families with people with families, children, just anyone who's seeking a shorter distance. And hopefully, we're hoping that we get 1,000+ bicyclists. Even with COVID, I think we've all come to accept that being outside is a pretty relatively safe activity. So obviously, keep COVID in mind, but being safe and outside, I think this is an okay activity. everyone or most people. Some fun special guests that will be part of the Major Taylor ride. Mayor Joe Hogsett will be there that morning with opening remarks. City County Council President Bob Osley will be on hand, and I think he might do the ride with us. I'm not sure yet. Nelson Vales, he is a 1984 Olympic silver medalist on the track. He will be in town, and one of our official ride marshals, Vision Quest, is bringing Nelson Vales in, and he'll be part of the Collegiate Track Nationals as well as our event. Justin Williams and his team, as I mentioned earlier. We don't have confirmation yet that Rasan Bahati will be here, but we're hoping that he will. He's a former pro. He's also the DEI manager for Zwift. Everyone knows Zwift became pretty popular during the pandemic, and so it'd be great to see Rasan here for the Major Taylor ride. And then, we've extended invitations to all of our city county councilors. And I think it's really important for the city leadership to see how many people love riding their bikes and how important bicycling is to communities and to progress within cities. We have a ton of partners that makes this possible. So Bike Indianapolis, the Central Indiana Bicycling Association, the Velodrome and the Cycleplex, the Major Taylor Cycling Club of Indiana, Black Girls Do Bike, Team Nebo Ridge, and then the Indiana State Museum will be on hand to talk about Major Taylor and have some of his archives, and then also promoting next year the Major Taylor exhibit that will take place. I think it's over 6 months, and then culminate with a festival next summer honoring Major Taylor. And then these are just a couple slides that I've included about what we do and who we are. So we have bike parking here. You'll see lots of volunteer opportunities for those who still are looking for a volunteer thing to do on September 10th or 11th. You can go to our website, momentumindy.org. Our volunteer director will thank you if you sign up. And then obviously this event would not be possible without the support of our city and all of our sponsors. You can see we have quite a few supporters to make this possible. But I think it's really a testament to all of the work that our volunteers have put into this over the years. The people in, everyone in our community that's behind this and wants to be a part of it. Obviously BGI and Live are supporting our women's races, and they're sponsors of ours. So I think this is really a great testament to this being a true community festival. So I'll stop my share because that's the end of my presentation. And then I'll turn it back over to you, Connie.
Okay. So I had a couple of questions. I noticed the Mass Ave, it looked like the route arrows went in an opposite direction. Is that correct?
You are very good. Yes. So we are going back to the old Mass Ave course. There's a lot of road construction down on Delaware. In 2019, we'd kind of retooled our race course because we wanted to incorporate the 300 block of Mass Ave. And it was a well-received course by the racers, but with the construction on Delaware, we were like, okay, let's go back to the old one. But we moved our start finish to the 500 block, and the only way to do that and give the racers enough runoff after they go through was to going the other direction. So they may be cursing us. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting, having been on the course, and I remember it was going the opposite direction. It was
Right.
a lot of it. Um, and yeah, and then the other one, yeah, there's tons of construction going on downtown, so that impacts a lot. Like, I guess the last couple of years you have had it on Monument, where they actually did a little quarter of Monument Circle, but obviously you can't do that right now with all the construction on Monument Circle. And
Yeah,
Street.
this is the first year. This will be our 11th year for Indy Crit. And every year that we've had it, this is our 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our 4th course in the same area, but just different configurations. Every one of them, other than this one, did the quarter loop on the bricks, which
Yeah,
got some mixed reviews because some people don't like riding on those bricks. But yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. And we couldn't be on the bricks because they're doing
yeah, they're
construction.
doing all sorts of construction, as we know with our downtown location. There's construction right outside it on Market on the east end of Monument Circle, and I guess they're doing it on the west end too. Yeah, and it'll be interesting, I think, on Meridian Street, where you have two-way, both. I guess they won't be happening at the same time because they'll pretty much be gone through, the other.
Yeah, if one of the racers sees them coming the other direction, they know there's a problem with their race because that's not
Right.
where they need to be.
Yeah, because they have to do at least one of those big loops before they.
Right.
Yeah.
But we'll have it divided with the fencing, so it will be safe for the racers. I mean, as safe as reasonably could be riding in a crit race at 30 some miles an hour.
Right. Yeah. And I was excited to learn about the Legion group. I've been following them on, on social media, and some of the articles about that have profiled that team and what they're doing, what they're, so that's exciting. So yeah, I think it'll be a really, really exciting weekend for all people to go out and check out. I'm assuming that you have still needs for volunteers, and how, they should just go to the website and.
Yeah, we have a volunteer tab on our website that they can click on and then view the open slots. I think right now our most critical are the course marshal shifts. Those are usually like about 3 hours in length, so not an overwhelming commitment, but a little chunk of time. You can watch the race.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention the Honor Major Taylor ride will go through part of the race course. So obviously not while the races are going on, but it will start on Monument Circle and then head north to 3 blocks and then turn. So it'll do about half of the race course, and then it will go by the new mural on Washington Street. And then before going, it'll go all the way out Washington. The routes are on our website, so they can go to the Honor Major Taylor and see the routes. We're working with the IMPD to get a police escort for the full 12 mile. So that'll help with some safety, and people feeling comfortable being in a large ride, but also with vehicular traffic. The officers hopefully can, like, similar to the way that they manage the polar bear pedal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so it sounds exciting. Hopefully the weather will be not 90 degrees like it is right now.
I'll take 90. I just don't want the R word.
Yeah. We don't ever say the R word. When you're in an event, you never say the R word.
No.
Yeah, you just don't say it. But yeah, if it's, that, I suppose it would be okay if it was hot. That, that's preferable.
We can deal with hot.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need lots of water.
Right,
Lots of hydration.
exactly.
Um,
And I also wanted to mention, I know a lot of people are really excited about Justin Williams and his team being here. He was, I think it was the July issue of Bicycling Magazine
yeah, it might
that
have
he
been.
was featured on, the cover, and people are vigorously seeking out where they can get that issue to have him sign it. So
Oh,
if you
yeah,
have it, bring it, and then he can sign it for you.
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are there any women that you're excited that are coming to the race, or that you think the equal prizes have attracted?
So so I mentioned the Legion team. I think the women are still, they are notoriously, they sign up at the last minute, as do a lot of bike racers. So we don't know who all the teams are that are coming. It hasn't shaken out yet. There's two other big races on our weekend. But we're right after Gateway Cup in St. Louis. So many of the racers will be in the area already. So I'm sure that it'll
Yeah,
be
be cool.
great. Yeah, great turnout.
Well, great. Are there any questions that either Tilden or Yolanda have?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say to Jennifer, I just never understood how massive a project this really was. And really, you're to be congratulated, and the organization for, for what you guys are doing. I think it's just a fantastic undertaking. And I look forward to my shift to fit helmets at the kids zone.
Fantastic. Thank you. It is, it's kind of a labor of love. And I started it before I started Indy Crit. I didn't start Mass Ave. Mass Ave was founded by Kevin McKinney at Nuvo. But I always said it was like my first baby, because I started the Indy Crit before kids. And then for the 2013 event, I was 10 days postpartum. My doctor said, "You won't be there." And I said, "Yes, I will." And I was there. And then 2016, we had our second, and that I was 3 weeks postpartum or something. I was there too. Those are rough years. Having a new baby and then putting on this baby, but we've gotten into a good cadence with it. And really excited about like the rebranding and everything. It's funny, every time I hear someone say momentum, I'm like, yes, we have a great name.
Yeah, it's always tricky when you're rebranding, you have to really go the whole thing and rebrand everything. You can't just say, okay, well, it was this. No, you just have to own it.
Yeah, really. And a lot of it had to do with, the Mass Ave Crit has its identity, the Indy Crit has its identity. But over the years, we heard a lot of people go, "Well, I don't crit race." And it's like, well, it's more than that. And so, we needed a name that was more than that. And each race still has its identity. Like Mass Ave Crit is still a Mass Ave Crit race, but it's part of this larger festival that really, it's more than the bike racing. So I'm really excited that we took the plunge and did that.
Yeah, I think overall it's, in the midst of COVID, but I think overall it's a good move for everybody, and it kind of gives, now that it's expanded to 2 days, it gives an umbrella name for what's going on, rather than, well, it's Mass Ave Crit and Indy Crit, and they happen to be the same. it's a little bit easier to say, oh, it's Momentum Indie Weekend, and it has all of these things.
Mhm.
So I was just getting confused whether it was Indie Momentum or Momentum Indie, but I think I've got it down now. So
We played around with that too.
yeah, you know, every time I was trying to type it in, I was like, is it Indie Momentum? So, and I think that's partially because, you know, I think of Indie Crit, so I was thinking Indie Momentum, and so
Oh, right.
that's where it came from. But anyway, Yolanda, do you have any questions or anything?
I didn't really have any questions. I did not realize the extent of all of the activities that were going along with this this weekend. So this was really helpful to me. I just thought it was a couple of races and a ride. So obviously it's much more than that, and I'm very excited about it. So kudos to you for all the hard work on it.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, it's not just me. We have a large committee, about 25 to 30 people that serve in various capacities. I actually had someone comment to my husband the other day. They were like, yeah, I was on that last call for the committee, the operations committee. And they were like, everyone's a volunteer? That's amazing. I was like, well, I mean, I'm a paid staff, but even so, that's,
Yeah.
but they were like, that's really cool. It's like, I think it's fun. Like, we make it fun and people want to be a part of it. It's a lot of
Well,
work. We have a nice party at the end. I can tell you that.
Well, you deserve it after that. So
Yeah, I was with Karen and I forget the other lady's name from one of your planning committees, but we scouted that 62-mile route.
Oh yeah. Oh, Karen's awesome.
Yeah, she is.
I just met her. When did we met this spring? Maybe, yeah. Or no, it was only in June. She just like dove right in. She's like, yeah, I'll be on the teardown committee. I'll be on the ride committee. I'm like, really?
Yeah, she's an awesome person.
Yeah.
well, great. Well, if we don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and end this. Thank you very much
Thank you. I
for
appreciate it.
joining, and you know, hopefully everybody is excited about coming, and we wish for the best weather you could ever have.
Thank you. All right.
You always want for outdoor events the best weather you can ever have.
Yes, true.
So, but thank you very much, and I'll go ahead and end.
All
Have
right.
a great
thanks.
evening, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
You too.
Bye.